snatch them out of the devil's kingdom. Oh, snatch them out of the devil's. And if they don't want it, don't fuss it. And if they refuse it, then dust your feet out the door and keep stepping until you find someone who trusts. The name of the Lord is where I'm hidden, and all I do is.
That's right. Come on. Lord, Jesus, we're changing. All right. To die for. So that's all it is. What's up, everybody? What's going on? What's really going on? I go by the name of Snatcher. What?
They do yimu. I go by the name of Snatcher. Well, I go by the name.
Rude.
Okay, of course, I go by the name Nikki Laoye. Yours.
Yeah. And this is
Meet the Snatchers podcast.
Why? I don't know why everybody looking like that.
Podcast.
Of course, you know this was gonna happen.
You people knew it was coming.
You practically asked for it.
People have been waiting.
And here we are. I know what you might be wondering. Why is it that she seemed a little bit elevated?
Why you won't cast me now?
You didn't even know what I was gonna say.
Okay.
Because the Lord has blessed you.
No, I give that to you.
Yeah.
No, you had to switch it. You switch it up.
Elevated.
You switch it up. You switch it up.
Elevated because of that. Show them.
Oh, I'm elevated because of. You know what?
That's upgrade here.
You know, he upgraded me, but I thought he was trying to talk about the cushion I'm actually sitting on.
That's why I was
So that's like, no, you got me right there. He got me on that one. No mind, and that's what they like to do. But yes, I've been elevated.
Yeah, okay, let's go.
No,
to
he's
it.
prouding. He's prouding.
Yeah, because now you're about to gain your masters, and I've lost my bachelor.
Anyways,
that's a dry joke I hear. I say at weddings.
You know, right now he just has
just
this way of
wants to warm it up.
bantering and saying a lot of stuff. So yeah. So
all right, why are we here? Okay, we since we announced our engagement.
Yeah.
It's been everywhere. So we've been getting
Lots of messages,
texts, calls. People even sent pigeons.
Pigeons
falcons to deliver the message saying, "Hey, you know, we got the finally."
Yeah.
What else did we get?
We saw it.
I saw it. I'm a prophet.
I'm a prophet. Come on, I saw it. I said it. But the truth was that it took us. It was quite a journey getting here. And the truth is, we didn't see it. We didn't even see it coming.
We don't know what you people saw. Well, we do not see this.
We did not see something. Nothing.
But we both have been on a journey.
Yeah.
And so we would actually like to talk about that. Because I know that I've had a lot of calls, conversations with widows and widowers and single people who've actually gone through stuff.
Yeah.
And they got to a point they were like, I don't get it. How did you guys do it?
Yeah.
What happened? So we thought it would be good if we tell our story.
Yes.
And then walk you through, you know, whatever way we can, just say what we went through.
Yeah, because that's actually what made the podcast, Meet the Snatch. Sorry.
Meet the podcast. Meet the podcast.
Okay, well, that's what.
If you ask us, you say I'm a media personality. But you can't meet the podcast. No, let's meet the podcast.
Now, so they happen. These are the kind of issues on ground whenever you're in front of the, camera on the mic. But anyways, what the Meet the Snatchers podcast is. Don't do this. Okay. What the Meet the Snatchers podcast is really about at the end of the day is us, sharing our journey, our personal journey, what we've been through, how we got here, how God helped us to get through everything we've been through in our personal journeys. And we're just doing this with the podcast to inspire, to motivate, to encourage someone out there, to uplift someone's spirit out there. And that's what it's going to be about. That's what all the topics will be about. Yeah. And that was, what touched us the most when people started reaching out to us via DMs, emails, messages, as in literally since for someone like me anyways, I think it's been the same for you. It's not just now. Even from the moment when we had our personal journeys, we've actually gotten people that maybe either went through a divorce like I did, or someone that went through the loss of a spouse like he did, has been reaching out to us individually about how did we even deal with that on a personal journey.
Yeah.
And of course, when the engagement news now came out again, it was like, come on, you guys now finally need to tell us, how did you do it? Because you guys went through this period of your solo pain and turmoil and things that you guys went through, and then you were able to find love again. Like, come on, guys, you need to give us the scope. How did you guys do it? How did you guys deal with it? And that's what we're here to talk about, and share with you and inspire you and motivate you right here on the Meet the Snatchers podcast.
All right, so let's start with you. You went through.
We'll be interviewing each other. So that's the plan.
Yeah. So I want us to start with you and keep it on that. Well, not keep it on that. We'll start with you. You a gospel artist, media, all those things, and all of that. And then you had an amazing marriage. A fairy tale marriage. I was there.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. I came into the country for that because you were my guy. And then what happened?
And then what happened? The truth is, people sometimes, ask that question like, is it that you guys didn't love each other from the very beginning, or what happened? Yes, we actually did love each other from the very beginning. We had great hopes and dreams of how we're going to make the marriage work. But of course, like I always say it, or people say it too, life happened. We actually got to a place where we're just not on the same path. We're not going in the same direction. And of course, the Bible says, unless two be agreed, they can't walk together. And that was basically what it was. And it was actually not an easy decision to make. It's funny when people out there hear you're going through a divorce or something, you're separated, and when people start writing, my own marriage will work in Jesus' name. Today's young people, they're not ready to make marriage work. They are quick to walk away.
It kind of sounds as if you just,
yeah.
You know what, I don't feel like this anymore.
But they don't know that sometimes it actually took a long time to make that decision. The decision was not an overnight decision, and trust me, it was not the easiest decision to make. But the truth is, everyone deserves to be happy, and I was in that place where I was just not happy. Things were just not working out as planned. And I know some people will say, but you're not a child of God. Are you not born again?
Did you do the war room one?
Didn't you do war room?
Yeah.
God knows I did everything. I did everything that I was supposed to do to try to make it work. We had the conversations, we had everything, but it was just obvious at a point that we were at a standstill, that things were just not going, the same path anymore. And we just had to make that decision. Or rather, I had to make that decision. And I was like, I had to call him and sit him down and say, you know what? We're not walking in the same direction. It hurts me to the bone to make this decision, but I think it's better off, we go our separate ways. And it actually was not easy, because this is the first time I'm going to be saying this, but I had to move back home. I had to move back home to my parents' house. And of course, I was like, Nikki Laoye, you moved back home? Did she have money to rent house? This, that, and that, and that. But the truth is, at that period of time, or should I say at that time and that period, I just needed to be around my family. I didn't want to be alone, because I knew having to move into another apartment, I would have to live alone. And at that point in time, I just didn't want to be alone. I wanted to just be around my mom and my brothers. And God bless my amazing family, because I remember the day I had to move back home. It was even late in the night that day, and it was the 19th of March, and 2018, 19th of March 2018, and when I had to move back home. And I remember that day, my mom and my younger brother, ex-Blaze, they were at home that day. And you know what my family they didn't even say a word. Normally things like that, when I mean say a word, I mean that day coming home, if some other people, they'll be looking for ways to try to chat you up or Jesus. But instead, they knew it was a very, very touchy, emotional moment for me, and I was actually flying out of the country the very next day. I was actually flying out to America the very next day, going for some events and projects out of the country. So moving back home that night, as I was packing my things, getting ready for my journey to travel, my mom and my brother actually stayed up with me all night. My mom just came into the living room. I was like, I want to check something on YouTube. YouTube, yeah. Well, I want to check that thing on YouTube. And she laid down, beside me. And my younger brother too came, hey, sis, I have some things I need to do around it. And it was just their own quiet way of saying, we are with you, sis. We love you. We're here for you. And I really also want to give thanks to my pastors who were there for me as well, because especially when it comes to this, we are Christians and things, but we know that there's this funny thing that goes on in the Christian community where people who have gone through a divorce are ostracized, or maybe they don't just get that support or help, from their pastors or from, the Christian community. I got a little bit of that. Should I say I got a lot of that? I got a lot of that, but I do give God thanks and say a very big thank you to my spiritual parents. That's Pastor Paul and Pastor Ifeanyi Adefarasin, who actually were right there with me through that season. It wasn't something they were happy about. Of course, they did all they could, try to counsel us and everything, and they did all they could. And they just knew at that point in time we had made our decisions and all of that. But they were there for me. And that is a part that I can never, ever forget. I still can't forget one major phone call. They checked on me on different times. So there was this particular one I can never forget I just wanted to share about. And that was, that day I was actually crying. Finally, I moved into my own place. So I'd moved into my own place, and I was alone in the living room. It was quiet and I was just crying and thinking about everything. At this point in time, I was 38 years old, just a short years away from being 40. And I'm like, wow, Nikki, what a move. What a time to be single when you're almost 40. And I remember that day, Pastor Paul, I just saw Pastor Paul's number on my phone. He just called me. And I was like, oh, Papa, And next thing, I just had Mama, and she was like, hey. And, they called me that day just to check up on me and make me laugh. They were both on speakerphone. It was one conversation that I wish I had another phone to record, because I wish I could play back that conversation, And they were just like, we're just checking up on you. Say, Nikki, don't worry. They were making me laugh. And the two of them will, maybe Mama will say, Nikki, don't worry. The next one, God will sort it out. You will born 3. Pastor Paul will say, yes. Pastor Paul said, no, FL, you can't talk like that. It's all like, and it was funny. They were now, Pastor Paul was like, what do you mean? She did this. And it was just funny. And they were making me laugh. I was giggling and laughing so hard that day. And it was a moment I would never forget. Oh. And I just thank them, for being very supportive and being there for me all these years. They've just been a great support to me. And of course, Pastor Biodun has been an amazing support as well. Pastor Modele, Fatoyibo, they've just been great supports to me, being there for me. I remember Pastor Biodun will call to check up on me, make me laugh. And I just thank God for these pastors that just stood by me. Pastor Lanre Olusheye, House on Rock Pastor Port Harcourt too, would call and check up on me and all of that. And they just made me feel like, okay, Nikki, we got you. We know you're going through this moment, we're here for you. And those things really matter because as much as I was getting that, I was also getting the, especially when the news broke on social media. Once blogs carried it, oh yes. Once blogs carried it, it was everywhere on all the major blogs you can talk about. Linda Ikeji, Insta blog. And
the Bebe Law.
And the Bebe Law. It was everywhere. And of course, some people reached out via DMs, messages, and, sent me. Some didn't want to say a word. They just sent hugs, sent hearts, sent those kind of messages. While I didn't hear from some people, I'll be honest, right. It's normal. As for me, at a point, it just felt like, wow, some certain people that I just thought that I've been there for you. Like, okay, now that I just feel like, whew, and there was just crickets and complete silence.
The exciting thing about those periods is it's good, because it's what we call the wilderness experience. Is what we try to simulate when we fast. We God has to take us to a place where we're removed from all of that, and then we are in a place where we feel alone.
Yeah, so we actually do need that. And I think sometimes when God also does that is he wants you to rely completely on him at that point in time. Because I know something God told me, and it's nice that you brought that up. Because God actually laid you upon my heart at that time that I just want to take you away from the noise. I want to take you away from the noise, but at the same time, I don't want you to be silent.
That's it.
He told me, and it seemed very contradictory at the time. I was like, God, I don't understand, because typical Nikki, just the same way that when my father died in 2011, I vanished from the industry for 2 years. And just that same way, I was already planning, I don't pack my load, say, I will vanish from the industry. They will not hear from me for the next 2 years or next couple of years or whatever. And God said, if I hear. And funny enough, he actually, someone will say, oh, how did you know God spoke to you? And funny enough, he used this song by Phil Thompson. I can never forget, because I'd never heard the song before. And you all know that song. And I will not be silent. I will always worship you. Here's my worship. All of my worship.
I know the chorus.
You know the chorus?
I didn't know the song had a verse.
Yeah. So,
I know the chorus.
Oh, you know. Okay, wait, just hold your peace. Just hold your peace. But seriously, and that's just the way I have a special way, of course, I communicate with my daddy. He uses music, he uses all kinds of things to talk to me. And it really stood out because I didn't know that song. One. And I remember that time I was just driving in my car and I was like, oh, there's this song that choir, they had sent the song that, choir members were, because of course I serve at my home church choir, House on the Rock, Lagos. And they had sent the song to us that we should, listen to the song. And I was like, what song is that? And I now pressed play and I was driving and I was like, oh, nice song. When I was hearing the song, the beginning of the song. And when it got to and I will not be silent. And I just heard God say, that's what I'm saying. As I literally heard it and I can never forget where I was. I was literally driving onto 3rd Mainland Bridge. I can never forget. And I just broke into tears. I was wailing while driving that day. And God was like, I don't want you to be silent. I want you at this point in time more than ever before to keep doing what you're doing. Keep going. Don't stop. Because people are watching you. People need to be encouraged by you. You can't stop right now. And I was like, God, I want to run away. People are already saying things. I was already hearing rumors and hearing side talks about me. Well, that's life, and all of that. And I was just feeling like I just want to go and bury my head in the sand. I just don't want anybody to hear from me. I don't want anybody to see me. And God said, nope. You ain't going nowhere. I'm not allowing you this time around. And that song really uplifted my spirit. And also, because going through that period also for me, the truth is everybody can always testify to the fact that before you make certain mistakes or go through some certain areas of your life, you do know that God sometimes go tell you, say, no, don't do this, don't do that. And I know that definitely in the line of my former marriage and all of that, maybe it was a decision I shouldn't have made at that time. Not because my ex was a bad person or something, but more of God was just like, this is not the decision you're supposed to make at this point in time. Because I was actually going through an emotional state. My dad was sick. And at that point in time, it was just not the right time. And to be very sincere, God used my pastors, God used friends and people to tell me, Nikki, slow down, not now, wait. And I just was running through because we need to talk about these things because sometimes when people want to go into marriage, they are going to marriage for different reasons. And at that point in time, yes, I was going into marriage with my friend, but at the same time, there were other thoughts. Oh, my dad is sick. I want my daddy to carry my children. Maybe if I hurry up and marry my friend, I can quickly born one. Sharp, or something that my daddy will carry, before he'll pass away. And there were things like that running through my head, and where I should have actually stopped to really give it a second look and like, are you really sure this is the marriage you should go into? I broke my own rules. I broke my dating rules. I had my own personal dating rules of like, oh, I'm going to date someone for a year or more to be sure that that's the person I really want to spend the rest of my life with. And I didn't do that. I broke my own rules and all of that. And there were just different people talking here and there. And, like advice coming in, everybody was like, chill, slow down. And I didn't listen. And of course, by the time I made that decision, I was like, oh, wow, maybe I should really have waited. But I still tried to make the marriage work. It's not like, oh, I now decided, hey, now from that moment I would hang. No. Of course, I really say at the end of the day, I had a very beautiful marriage. But at the end of the day, it just we're not aligned in purpose. Let me put it that way. In that direction that God wanted us to go to, we're not going in that direction together. And that's why it had to come to a close. So the truth is, by the time, of course, when I was now going through my separation, my divorce, I remember that time I went on tour with Tim Godfrey and Travis Green. That was when the Fearless tour was going around the bit. So I was on board the team, of course, as their media communications personnel for that. And I remember how God spoke to me again there's this song by Travis Green that I've been hearing the song and I won't lie, Travis, you're my brother, I love you so much. And I remember when that song first came out, I didn't like the song. I actually didn't like the song because I was like, what song is this? You know, the thing is that it happens like that. Sometimes you hear some songs, you connect with some, you don't connect with others. I connected with I connected with some other songs, but that particular song I didn't connect, and I was just like, but you know what God would do? So that I would know that he was talking to me, he made sure he used that song that I used to say I did not like, and to talk to me. And I remember that day, we were there in Port Harcourt. I can never forget. We're in House on Rock, Port Harcourt that night, and Travis Green just started, you waited for me, just for me. And just when he said those lines, I heard God said, yes, my baby girl, I waited for you to finally see, understand, you know, and I choked. I said, as in...
He choked.
He choked. He actually really choked in the sense that I was like, oh my God. And I was actually helping to capture, you know, moments. And I was crying at the same time, trying not to allow my tears to go and the sound of my crying to go into the recording. And God was just like, I waited for you. And that's how I just knew that God was holding me together. I'm saying all these stories because at the same time, I'm trying to let you know the ins and the outs. And at the same time, knowing that we just have an amazing Father that never left me for 1 second. Even when other people walked away, you know, God never left. And God kept saying, I'm still with you and I'm going to use you much more than you've ever thought or dreamt, even with this, you know, position you're in. And the truth is, God has been so faithful because since the moment the news of my divorce and separation broke out, I started receiving DMs. I actually started receiving DMs that very same day as it came out on blogs. I started receiving DMs from people that were going through divorce, people that were going through different things. They were like, oh my God, to us, you're a pastor, that we feel like we can't talk to our pastors. We feel like they've segregated, they've pushed us away. They just, you know, made us feel some type of way, you know, and these were people's personal, you know, messages to me. And I just feel like, Nikki, you've been there, even though we are sad, we're not happy to know that you are going through something like this, but the fact that we can talk to you because you would understand. And, you know, I just realized more than ever before that this is just something God was also going to make me have to do, to use my pain, use my journey to also encourage and help somebody out there. And it's been a long time coming. I should have actually started my own personal podcast a long time ago. Snatcher knows about it. But I guess God just wanted, yeah, no, serious. But I guess God had a plan. God knew this was going to come and he wanted us to do it together because look at how life has
one thing I really wanted to pick out from the long story I've been talking about.
No worry, you go your own story.
I'm just messing with you. But what really stuck out for me was the fact that through it all, God still spoke.
Yeah.
A lot of people will go through that, and I think it's the way society has made it. You feel like, oh, they say God hates divorce. And I just went through a divorce. And maybe your local assembly, your church, your friends, whatever it is you subscribe to, they ostracize you. So sometimes we take it as God has also ostracized us. God is also angry with me.
True.
So when he tries to speak in the midst of that, we don't hear.
Yeah.
We don't listen. Because we hear through our pain, we hear through what people are saying or what people have done to us, and all of that. All the you should not, you know. Look at the woman who was caught in adultery for whatever reason. They never brought out the guy. That's for another day. So they brought out the woman, and Jesus said, "Hey, whichever one of you has not sinned should cast the first stone."
Yeah.
And the Bible says, from the eldest to the youngest, everyone started. You know, they left and. He said, did anyone convict you? Neither do I.
No.
And he addressed the situation. God said no more. So the thing is, God always speaks.
No, God always speaks.
But if we listen more, and when he said to you that, you know, that listen to me, or so, I can't remember how you actually phrased it. What came to my head was, Yoruba have a saying that, ma wari woja. Don't focus on what the crowd is saying. Listen to me.
Yeah.
Listen to me. My worry would
No. To actually Is it corroborates? Before I speak wrong English.
Depends. I don't know what you want to say. No, English is very difficult for you.
Dude. No, but seriously, to just add to what you're saying, I remember that period of my solitude. Yeah. God actually told me to just stay silent. As in, like I said, I don't want you to be silent, but I need you to be in a place of quiet. No, sorry, that's what I meant. Just in a place of quiet.
The noise.
Do you know, it was as bad as I didn't buy a television for my house.
Because it was too expensive.
Not because of that, because of the noise. You know how it is. We drown. Sometimes we're watching TV, we're watching programs. It's not like I wasn't watching my Netflix and co, on my phone, but I kept it to my phone so that TV, I'm not changing channels. I'm not distracted. And the truth is that God spoke through the silence. I could hear God a lot more. I'm telling you, it actually grew. The way I heard God actually increased because there's no TV, there's no distraction. Beyond, I'm checking stuff on my phone. And the truth is, a very big God bless you also to Pastor Nathaniel Bassi, because Hallelujah Challenge also kicked off somewhere. I think it was around that period it all started. And many times I'm just a part of the Hallelujah Challenge. And it was even one of those quiet moments where the Hallelujah Challenge was going on that I was also praying. That's where Fine Woman by Nikki Laoye came out. That's actually where Fine One by Nikki Laoye came out. It was in that period because at that period I was just praying. I'm like, God, what's the next thing? This was in 2019. I'm like, what's the next step? Okay, God, what business am I supposed to do? What else am I supposed to do right now with my life, and all of that? And God said, your hair. And that was what he said. I said, my hair. I started touching my hair, like, my hair. And, he was like, yeah, like your hair. You actually did something to help fix your hair. Package, you put it, and that's how Fine Woman by Nikki Laoye came out. And it came in that period of silence when I'm not trying to watch the next show, because the thing was I actually reduced my watching to like series. Series are 20 minutes.
Yeah.
I wasn't even watching movies like that anymore so that I don't, because movies are very long.
You spend so much time.
And the truth is that you need to have that moment, especially when you've gone through a divorce or gone through a separation, whatever at that time, you need to actually come away. It's very, very important to come away with, to yourself alone and talk to God about everything. Like, really come to an understanding of what happened. Why did your marriage break up? Was it the fault of yours? Was it the fault of your partners? Was it a joint?
What role did I play in
What role did you play in making this go wrong? And how do I fix me? Because the most important thing at that point in time is now you. Because the truth is, your partner will have to also sort himself out. Your ex-partner will have to sort himself out. But you now have to fix yourself. And you have to sit down and ask yourself the questions, where did I go wrong? What could I have done better? How do I grow? How do I learn from this? Because that is just me. I'm forever a learner.
That's good.
I'm forever a learner. And I'm someone that I don't live with regrets. I'm someone that always still believes...
No regrets.
No regrets. I'm always someone that still believes that everything that we've gone through, there's a reason for it. There was a purpose for it. And I would make sure that I learn all that I need to learn. I've always had that gift. I thank God for that. And God always knows that this is my baby, Sha. She will always take her time to sit down. After she don't go like this. After she don't rigmarole.
How often does this rigmarole?
After you've gone off track, she'll say, Daddy. And that's why we just have an amazing father. Because I'm sure many of you out there that have children, you know what it's like. When the children have misbehaved, they've done something wrong, they'll come back and say, Daddy,
Which is amazing. And your journey has been, and I mean, hopefully people can see from your story and know that, I mean, it doesn't matter how worse theirs might be or whatever, that God still speaks.
Yeah.
And you just need to listen and ignore. And we'll still, maybe some other episode, we'll talk about the myths and what society says versus what God is saying, or what people expectations, unlawful expectations of people, or,
very true,
versus what God says and what you know in your heart to do.
We'll definitely, there's a lot to talk about. Today we're just giving you the intro.
It's preamble.
It's
long, but it's preamble.
Because I know for a long time people have wanted to know this Nikki story, at least, and what happened, this and that. And at least I'm grateful to God that I'm here, stronger, and I've been forgiven, and I'm stronger. I'm able to talk more about it, and I'm able to. And the good thing is that my ex and I are actually in a good place.
I was gonna ask.
Yeah,
what's the relationship like?
We're actually in a good place.
And that's
and that's the most important thing. He's doing well. I'm doing fine. We celebrate each other's birthdays, and once in a while we do catch up sometimes. So the truth is that we're in a good place, and everybody's doing fine. And that's the most important thing at the end of the day. That to also have a clean breakup. Even if at the end of the day that is going to happen, I just don't believe in bitterness and all the anger and fights and so many things that goes on that at the end of the day, it literally destroys everything. So, and I just believe at the end of the day, we just all have to be wise in how we deal with each other, because at the end of the day, we're all children of God. Yeah, we're all God's children, and we need to watch how we deal with each other at the end of the day.
At the end of the day.
Yeah.
Okay. So I guess that's it, isn't it?
Yeah. That's basically what we're doing in today's episode. Yes, it's all about, how did I go through my divorce and how was I able to deal with it? And just to give a quick recap on things, at the end of the day, the things I would just like to, highlight once again is take your time when you finally want to settle down with your partner, the love of your life. When you finally want to marry, you need to sit down and ask yourself those questions. Why are you getting married? Are you really sure this is a road you want to take? Pray about it, count the cost. Do a lot
of study, read.
Yeah.
Read the person, read books. Read the person. Sometimes it's not just how they treat you.
Yeah.
Sometimes you can watch how they treat people who they think is of a lesser station than they are.
Yeah.
Sometimes, he didn't hit you, but he got so angry he hit the wall beside you.
Because that's
one
another...
day I will be the wall.
Yeah, because that's another thing on that side. For me, of course, thanks be to God, there was no case of domestic violence. But there's some people out there the reason why they're walking away from the marriage is because there's been, a lot of beating, emotional abuse, verbal abuse, domestic violence and all of that. And the truth is, for me, I would tell you, get out of that marriage. To be sincere, I don't mean it, but the truth is that it's better to be alive than for someone to actually kill you. Right there. And at the end of the day, let the person get the help that they need to become a better person, for them to heal while you're away from them.
Away from the hand that's eating you.
Yeah, away from the hand that is eating you. And also, like we said, I mentioned earlier on, don't make a decision of a lifetime when you're in an emotional state. Because the truth is, you're not thinking straight, you're not thinking properly, and you might not make the right decisions at that point in time. Then also, of course, I'm actually directing this to people that have actually gone through a divorce. When you finally gone through, that moment, you need to take some time away to forgive yourself and forgive your spouse. Forgive yourself, forgive your spouse, forgive each other, and take time to heal. But don't try to do it alone, because it's not by your power, it's not by your might, it's by the Spirit of God. Hallelujah. You have to take out time to actually heal, spend time with God, spend time with people that love you. That's what I did. I surrounded myself with my friends and my family who actually helped me to get through that season of my life. And, spend time with your friends and people that love you, and spend time with God. Get out of the noise, but it's still up to you if you want to go quiet. Like I said, it was the kind of a decision I had with God. God told me not to be silent. But some people, they will decide to just go away for a while, do what's best for you, and do what God is actually asking you to do at that point in time. You come first, so you need to ensure that you take care of yourself first. Spend time with God, work through the issues, work through everything, because someday down the line, you might want to get married again. I say might because I know of some people that have decided they don't want to. At the end of the day, it's everybody's decision. But I do believe that, if you want to, you can actually give love another chance. I gave love another chance.
Don't touch me.
I gave love another chance.
Don't touch me.
I gave love another chance with this amazing young man right here. Don't mind him. And the truth is, getting here wasn't easy, but we'll still tell you all about that someday soon as well in the next maybe in the next episode or as we go along. No, the next episode is about you. you have to definitely talk about yours. But this episode is all about me. It's just here to give you moral support and all of that. But basically, it was quite a journey getting here. But God has been faithful. God has been so good. And one thing I can tell you was I never lost my smile. I never lost my joy.
Yeah, I know a lot of people were seeing you after, and maybe we will talk about that when we talk about what people expectations. But
it's just today I just wanted to give a little highlight, that I didn't lose my joy, I didn't lose my hope, I didn't lose my faith in God. I still believe that my daddy cared for me because I've always been daddy's girl. And talking about daddy's girl, I just wanted to drop this. Everybody says that Nikki always talks about daddy, but that actually helped me to have that beautiful relationship with God. And it says that I was actually, of course, I'm the only daughter with 3 brothers, and I was always daddy's favorite. And of course, the kind of lovely relationship I had with my earthly father actually helped to build the relationship I had with my heavenly father, because the kind of way I talk and gist with my dad before he went to be with the Lord, that's actually how I started my prayer life and relationship with God. So I would literally talk to God like he's sitting right in front of me. I'm like, daddy, now see this, that. And that's how it was. And that's how it has been. So that while I was going through everything, I could really sit down and say, daddy, I'm not happy today. This happened, that happened, this is going on. And I would literally feel God holding me. I would literally feel God sitting right in front of me, talking to me and all of that. So the truth is, your relationship with God matters a lot, especially when you're going through that moment of divorce. And I'm actually hitting on it the most. Like, it's the most important thing.
It's so important.
That will help you to get back on your feet once again after everything. We'll keep talking about different things, different aspects about how we were able to go through our different stages of loss. Because yes, a divorce is still a loss in a way. So yes, and with the Snatcher podcast, yes,
our very first episode.
Talking about dealing with the divorce.
Not the title. I thought it was
what was the title again?
Nikki's divorce or something like that.
Nikki's divorce, Babo.
Nikki's her own had to spell herself.
More like dealing with
That's it. We just say
life after the divorce, dealing with divorce. Yeah, dealing with divorce, life after divorce, and all of that, and how you're able to move through. What?
Gospel artist Nikki shares. You know how those blogs give
the way blogs write it.
Shares. So no. But hey, thank you.
So make sure you follow all our channels.
Yeah.
Yes.
We're on Instagram at Meet the Snatchers. We're on YouTube at
Meet the Snatchers.
And you can see it somewhere.
And of course, we're everywhere you can get your podcast. Yes, we're available everywhere. We're available on YouTube. We're available everywhere you can get your podcast. Yes. We're just right in your house.
So we're just warming up. This is the first one. And thank you so much, Nikki.
Thank you so much, Snatcher.
Yeah,
it was so nice. Thank you so much.
Hey, Miss Koff.
Hey.
Hey. So, thank you very much for joining us. Don't go nowhere. Okay, go, but you come back.
Go. And we're looking forward to having you on the very next podcast episode.
Yeah. Please like, please share, comments, whatever. Do. Peace. ABC, yeah. We out.
Okay, wait, I was about to do the sign out.
Okay, you sign out.
But he had to finish. That is true. Make sure you follow, like, repost everything. But at the same time, make sure you keep following us at Nikki Laoye, at Soul Snatcher, of course, at Meet the Snatchers. Yay! We catch you on the next episode of Meet the Snatchers podcast.
What she said. Peace.
Bye, guys.